What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Kawhi Leonard uh, and his era. Some people feel like his era was a failure because he wasn't able to get the Clippers into a championship game, right? And the Clippers was looking to have the same kind of success with Kawhi that Kawhi had when he was with Toronto, and then with Kawhi also had when he was at when he's with the Spurs, right? And I think that Kawhi, he just couldn't stay healthy. Now, if that was because whether it was because Kawhi was, he didn't take care of himself right, or sometimes he wasn't motivated to play like some people thought he should be. It's hard to tell, especially from the outside looking in. But what I can tell you is, like, when Kawhi was healthy, man, Kawhi, in my opinion, was one of the best two-way players in the league. One of the most dominant two-way players in the league, but he couldn't really live up to the expectations that the Clippers had for him. So Rob Parker and his partner, or his co-host Calvin Washington was speaking about this. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the audio from their show, then I'm gonna come back and give my input.
Let's go with the Clippers and what happened, the fall of the second half collapse, and the Warriors move on and they win, and the season is over for the Clippers. Rob G, it might be more than just over for the Clippers.
Yes, sir. It is a tough day if you are Sagar Patel, Monty Bolaños, and the rest of Clipper Nation, all 17 of you.
Nah, see, that's so foul.
Because
they got a beautiful building, better than the Lakers.
They do have a beautiful building.
They got
it's
more
for the concerts.
They got all the other stuff. They just don't win anything. Go ahead.
They don't win anything. In fact, they had a game in hand. The play-in tournament was theirs. They were primed to go in and get the 8th seed overall in the postseason,
which is incredible because they started what were they, 6-20?
6-21.
6-21. Like, seriously.
They make a miraculous run to get into position, to get in this
Kawhi
position.
had an MVP type season.
Absolutely.
He did.
And then in a span of about 8 minutes, it all came crashing down. They end up falling to Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Their season is over.
And those people who text me saying Steph made big threes or whatever, that wasn't a playoff game.
You actually?
You're
right. Technically, you are correct.
Technically, it wasn't.
I'm just keeping.
You are. Listen, they don't call you Rob Brand Muffin Parker for no reason.
It wasn't a playoff game, so that doesn't count.
But now all eyes turn to Kawhi Leonard. He's got 1 year left on his deal. There was trade rumors involving him at the deadline, but with the way this season ended, it's looking more and more likely that the Kawhi Leonard era in LA is over.
And I got to say this.
I'm a fun guy.
Thank you. He is fun.
What do you have to say?
But I'm going to say this. And Kawhi's game, I love that when he came to LA, he picked the Clippers over the Lakers. He could have joined AD and LeBron and had it on easy street. He's from Southern California. You know what I mean? Like, everything was set up. He could have had a way easier path. The Lakers might have won 3 or 4 championships. You know what I mean? Had he joined him, those two guys or whatever, and he decided to go do his own thing. Might have been some.
I'm glad that Kawhi Leonard went to the Clippers instead of the Lakers, man. I thought it was good for basketball that, you don't want to everybody and then I also disagree though with Rob Parker that they would have won 3 or 4 championships. I don't know. I don't, but that's a hypothetical situation. But I was glad that Kawhi would prefer to play against LeBron and AD than to team up with them. So I thought it was good for basketball.
Incentive to do his own thing as well. As far as
a little extra.
Yeah, a little extra
cushion.
Cheese. But my point is that even for somebody who, and I was the one who predicted that he would go to the Clippers, and I thought it was great because I thought what he was trying to do was carve out his own legacy. He won a championship, right, with the Spurs, went to Toronto, a franchise that had never won, went there, won. And I was like, with the team they had put together and when Paul George got traded here and all that to LA, I'm like, if he can win a championship with that Clippers team, another franchise that had never won, what a legacy it would leave behind. And unfortunately, they had a couple of shots at it. They choked against Denver up 3-1. And what was the other one? And then they did go to the Western Conference Finals, but he was hurt that year. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was incredible. The Clippers had never made it to the Western Conference Finals. It was against Utah. He played in a couple of the first 2 or 3 games, then got hurt, and they still finished off Utah without him in the Western Conference Finals to get to the Western Conference Finals. But my point is, it wound up being a failure in Los Angeles. There's no other way I could paint it. They had some ups, some moments, but it failed. They did everything they could. I'm not mad at Steve Ballmer. I'm not mad at all the people in the front office that made all these moves. They did everything they could. It failed. It's a failure.
It was, listen, I've been in Los Angeles for almost 15 years. And when I tell you, I don't know if I've ever seen a sports franchise squander 15 years of possibility like the Clippers did. In fact, the only clips I acknowledge is Pusha T and Malice. It's the only clips I acknowledge. Man, listen, they had Lob City here for 6-7 years. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, JJ Redick. They had a squad, and you're thinking, man,
okay,
they might
you just lost me there. But go ahead.
But they did. What, JJ?
Adding
it was
JJ.
all good to
it was
the JJ.
all good to you adding.
Somebody had to hit those threes. And they had a squad, and it became the sexy pick to win the championship. The Lakers were down. Kobe was injured.
And they used
Guys
to beat
were
the
bad.
Lakers.
They were smack the Lakers every time, like 3 out of 4 times a year, sometimes sweep them the whole season. It was nothing. And everybody picked, oh, man, they should go at least to the Western Conference, at least to the finals, let alone win it. Nothing came from that. In fact, came from failures. And in fact, Doc Rivers said, Google me, and we did. And we saw all the failures from those Clippers teams. You fast forward to the Kawhi Leonard era. You're talking about it. Guys coming hot off a championship, look great in Toronto, comes here, you're like, all right. They start putting the pieces together.
Impressed that he didn't
Paul
pick the
George,
Lakers?
yeah, and it kind of fits his
It does. It does.
So you're like,
the
all right,
Lakers
this makes
didn't make sense, right?
And then they get Paul George as part of the deal and all of that. And then guess what happens? Nothing.
They
Injuries.
were up 3-1, but they were up 3-1. That's the one that they choked.
And that's the disappointing. They're up 3-1.
I just think with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, I just think that, they could not stay healthy. Now, I would have loved to have seen those guys stay healthy so they can, I think they would have had a better chance of winning, obviously. But, and then if they could stay healthy, not just for one season or, for a few seasons, then that way they get a chance to persevere and they get an opportunity to overcome like whatever held them back one year. Then you go into the next season building on the success you had, and then you are more motivated because of the failure that you suffered. But it's just been up and down with the injuries with these two guys, with Kawhi and Paul George. So you never really got to see these guys, consistently play at a high level.
Lose. Kawhi's not playing. Load management. Paul George is hurt. James Harden comes back home. Russell Westbrook comes back home. They're both from LA. Doesn't work. Team's not great. They're good, but they're never great. They can't get over the hump. And it's been nothing but a disappointment this Kawhi Leonard era. He's a great player when healthy. We know that. He hasn't helped build the franchise up. He's not great on the marquee. He doesn't like to do interviews. He doesn't like to do all the pub stuff to build up the franchise. Now you got an impending scandal going on right now, an investigation into, improper monies to entice him to come here to re-sign and all that stuff. So it's just been a biggest waste of a multitude of talent. If I told you on paper, you'd have Paul George, Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, all these guys, you would think, oh, man, we got at least a ring to show for it, or an NBA Finals appearance. You've got nothing for it. And to add insult to injury, Rob, by losing, they may have gotten a top 4 pick to the Thunder, who now have a 7-point.
And another thing about Kawhi Leonard, this year has been like the health. He was able to stay healthy this year than a lot of years in the past, right? And so when I realized that, I'm thinking he's also coming up. Like I said, he under scrutiny for, like, I don't know if it's the situation that's going on, this investigation that's going on with the team. but also his contract is almost up with them, right? And so this sort of like a contract year. So maybe this was some extra motivation for Kawhi, to stay healthy and to perform this year and to not miss as many games as he usually misses, man. And so when you see somebody do that, then that kind of makes you look at them. It kind of make you look at them a little sideways when you see somebody able to, during a contract year. Now all of a sudden you're able to stay healthy and you're able to play more games and you push yourself a little bit more than what you usually push yourself, man. So, and I like Kawhi Leonard, but to me, that kind of, that's kind of suspect.
Whatever percent chance to get a top 4 pick. SGA, who you trade, is about to be a 2-time MVP, possibly a 2-time finals MVP. And now they got a bunch of first-round picks because of you. So it's just been a complete disaster, and I think it's time to hit the hardcore reset button, pull the cord out of the Nintendo when you're losing like we did when you were kids, and it's time to just blow this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think I don't know where they're going to go at, but I do think that they're going to, I don't think Kawhi Leonard will probably be there next year. I don't know where else he's going to play at, but yeah, man, I wish Kawhi Leonard was able to stay healthy and win a championship for the Clippers. That would have been big. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.